Hey everybody, it's Moose here, and today I am back with another interview. I am here with James Flicks Reviews and Customs. And I have to say thank you, James, for coming here with me and being able to do the interview.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. So going off from my first question is what exactly really got you in wanting to do YouTube videos?
What really got me interested was seeing about all hold on, let me phrase it like this. Growing up, YouTube was like one of the main parts that I had to keep me company. So, you know, watching them made me feel happy, and I wanted to do it to see if I could try to make an impact on somebody else's life.
Yeah, I get that. It's the same thing, kind of reminds me of why I do the interviews in the first place. And the funny thing, I just did another interview prior to this one, and I was telling them that the reason why I mostly do the interviews is because I want people to get to know the people behind the camera and be able to inspire people and be able to excuse
Yeah.
me, for more people to get to know more people in the community. So it kind of reminds me like that the statement you just made kind of reminds me of that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess going on to my next question is so you says so your YouTube channel focuses on some vlogs and also goes over some figure reviews and
Yeah.
also goes over some custom videos. So so first off, I want to talk about your reviews. So you done like some stuff for your Mayfix Spider-Man, the Mayfix Spider-Man review. You also did some custom figures as well. So I want to ask the question. So, what made you want to get into action figure reviews in general?
Growing up, funny, just said that. But I would always watch Artemis Prime, Sean Long, occasional Glenn Webb here and there, and seeing all these action figures, I was just like, man, I really want to get those. Put them here or there. I could have all of these ideas for them. Doing videos, it's a way for people to learn what goes on with the figure and to give information to another person about how they work.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mayfix Spider-Man, the dumbbell joint, not the dumbbell. One of the um points fell off, but it was like one of the old QC issues.
Mm-hmm. So and it gets going on. So what have so far with reviewing and and the person I reviewed prior was also an action figure reviewer, and we talked about um how hard it is, to be able to have your own flavor to it and be able to add something new to the format
Yeah.
of reviewing figures. So exactly, and you say you got inspired by like people like Sean Lawn or Sharmus Prime, right? So,
Yeah.
what exactly? So going on forward with your channel and going on forward, like doing like if you're going to continue with reviewing action figures, and something what I like about what you do is that occasionally you review your own custom stuff, which I think that's pretty cool. It kind of
Right.
reminds me of I forgot is pound something. I'll make sure to put yes. But he reviews his own customs for Spider-Man's customs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So so what kind of reviews would you like to make in the future? Is there anything you guys can talk about? Like or another maybe talk about some future customs you're working on at the moment.
A custom that I've been wanting to do, and this is for Oliver Flicks, but I need to work up the money to get it.
Mm-hmm.
He wants I think his name's Jigsaw,
Mm.
the Daredevil villain,
Oh yeah, the
and
yeah Punisher, right?
yeah, and I really wanted to, getting into the figure, it seemed like a figure that I really wanted to do because it seemed fun. It I have a comfort zone for how to do things. I mainly just stick to painting and all that. But seeing this one, it would require me to go over multiple things, and sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone, and I like doing that.
Right. The thing is what customizing, and I remember we talked about this like once or twice, and
Yeah.
where I mentioned I like to customize figures too, like painting and I'm trying to dabble in sculpting as well. So
Yeah,
I get say that one more time.
I've seen a lot of your customs on your
Oh,
Instagram, which you should all follow, by the way.
oh, thank you. But yeah, uh, thank you for the plug. But yeah, I like customizing figures, especially if I feel like I can be able to do the character, or or I can be able to do a version of a character. I think one of the customs I feel like I am most proud of, um, for like I guess for like a like say for example like MCU wise, I am proud of my MCU Netflix Battle Damage Punisher. That one turned out really cool. And I like what I did with it, and I like the stuff I like swapping out the arms and being able to do what I did with the toothpicks to make it look like they're bullets in the vest. So it just takes practice, and
Yeah.
I guess I want to make a jigsaw too actually, and I'm actually gonna what I can recommend if you are good at if and this is kind of something I recommend if you what I'm gonna try at least is make sure I know where I'm going to make marks on the face, because I would take reference from like comic books, or maybe if you want to go more like what the TV show did, then I would go
Yeah.
from there. But whatever you want to reference, and I would say draw little lines on the face, because that's what I'm doing. I'm drawing little lines on the face, and then I'll like know where to cut, and I know where to make marks, and then I'll know where to add like paint. Um, so if you're doing that for the face, which most of his face is damaged, and that also requires sanding and also maybe a little bit of trimming. If you have an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. Um, yeah. So also, if you're watching this and you're like under the age of like 13, then please like have parents' permission or be like supervised. But yeah. So I anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
That must be one of the main reasons why I wanted to use. Also, Oliver had this idea, but I feel like using the two pack between Deadpool and Hitmonkey, the one that came out for the 80th year,
mm-hmm.
that one already has the Wade Wilson head sculpt, but it doesn't have the pure yellow eyes. It has the iris and the white parts of your eye. So
Right. Right.
I feel like then the like detailing would already be like 50% done.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that head sculpt is a good choice.
Yeah.
What I'm using is I forgot his name, but everybody uses that head for like for morph. I'm using it. I'm either gonna use that, and that head doesn't work out. I'm gonna use a I'm gonna paint on a DC Multiverse Two Face head, and work from there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna do like the the lines and everything that I said. But yeah, like I mentioned, if you ever need help with that kind of stuff, I'm down to help. So, also,
Yeah, when I was working on, oh, sorry, but when I was working on my most recent custom spawn,
mm-hmm.
um, the thing was the reference picture that I went off of for the head, it was the Mortal Kombat.
Right.
I don't have any knowledge of Mortal Kombat besides spawns in it, and I used one of the 1989 pictures of him. I like the original suit more than I like the newer one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
doing the lines over the chest, they were hard, and one thing that I've noticed, they're uneven, but I don't really care. I'm not a very straight person anyway.
Right.
I don't like being like very organized. I like being everywhere.
Yeah, I get you. I guess going on this, that kind of leads into the next question I have here. Is since you're starting to do custom, like a lot of some of your videos, go over like you mentioned, your spawn custom, And
Yeah.
you made, and I'm going through your channel. You did a My Chemical Romance figure, and probably some other ones. So my question is, what advice would you give to people from your perspective from doing custom figures? What advice would you like to give to people for who are just starting out or want to make a custom figure of their own?
The advice that I would give people, I have much advice, but coming from my own experiences, the first custom that I did on a Marvel Legend that I was comfortable doing a custom on was my custom wannabe,
Mm-hmm.
and I used Sharpie and nail polish with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't don't ever use Sharpie for a custom. You can, but you have to put something over it to not rub. But another bit of advice: if you're just starting, do easier like solid customs, like solid colors. Don't. It's one of my It's one of my pet peeves. I do not like movie figures for the main purpose of there's too much detailing, and I feel like to somebody just starting off doing customs, it could overwhelm them because I've known many people that have done customs. With the MCU figures, they're just like, oh, there's too much detail. I feel like I gotta add each individual, and I'm just like, don't sweat it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is if you're starting off, start with like some paint pens. I actually have ones that I use here. Use handmade modern paint markers. And once you feel comfortable, I would say switch off to folk art acrylic.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't really used the pens. I mostly have used. When I first started doing customs, I also used like Sharpies and pens, and I used paints. But I forgot what kind of paints I used to use. It's been so long. I started back in like 2013, 2014 when I started making customs, and but I used to also use nail polish too, um, back when I first started. But now I use this. And I'll have to like if I find it, I'll make sure to put a link in the description so you can buy it. It's probably on Amazon or you can buy it at your local Walmart or Target. Um, but it's like this spray that you put on for paint, and so you just shake it, and then you just I spray it outside because chemicals, but you spray it on your figure, and it gets this nice light sheen on it, so it looks new. It doesn't look like the paint like it was just painted on, and
I have those
yeah,
right here
yeah,
actually.
I'll make sure to send that to you. But yeah, send you like I'll give you the name and everything. But yeah, so you just spray it, and the paint you just spray like a couple coats, like just like one, like you do one, you let it dry, and then do a second one, and then the paint won't chip a lot. It will chip maybe a little bit, but it won't chip as much. So that's what I've been using, and because I took a lot of art classes, and we would use that spray for our art projects, because we use a lot of acrylic paints. So that's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
I would use. That's the kind of stuff I would use for like when I did like my pots and cups and stuff like that, or like when I did make my paintings and stuff like that, so the paint won't chip or won't get too damaged. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I think that's one of the main reasons why. Oh, sorry.
oh no, you go
I think
ahead.
that's one of the main reasons. Yeah, that's. Thank you. I think that's one of the main reasons why I use paint pens. Like, I like using my acrylics. I'm actually working on a custom piece right now. It's not an action figure, but it's my phone case. Like making it a bit more me. Just
Mm-hmm.
so I could have something cool. And I'm using a mixture between my acrylics and my paint pens, but in my opinion, like if you use finish over acrylic, it won't chip. Hopefully, not chip as much.
Mm-hmm.
But with your paint pens, the least you'll get is a slight rubbing, and sometimes it will actually look pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree. I also the kind of paints that I use is I use acrylic, or like the certain brand I use is Testor. Is Testor paint. It's just a little pricey for one small bottle. It's $4 to $5, but you can get a set of all the colors for Testor, or you can get or if you don't want to you don't spend too much, you can get a set for about $30 of 10 to 12 different paints of Citadel paints, which I recommend that. So again, I'll send that to you if you're interested, and I'll make sure to put that in the link in the description as well if anybody's interested in that. But yeah, and then speaking of that kind of stuff, so I want to talk more about the kind of content that you like to make, and for your channel going on forward, what kind of content do you see yourself making in the future? And also, what kind of content do you want to bring to the table in terms of, because YouTube is such a vast cesspool of different types of content creators. So in terms of also with this community of action figure collectors and stuff like that, so what kind of content, so basically I'm asking is, what kind of content would you like to make, and what kind of content are you going to make?
The kind of content I want to bring to the table, like not so many stop motion artists or like customizers do this. I want to do like more like horror customs, and I want to do like little scary short films. I actually have I have this long fear with Smile Dog, so I always want to, like, if you watched Oliver's video about the little Smile Dog, the truth was, every time he would edit it, it would terrify me, because I do not like I've grown out of it. Like, I can just look at it and I'll just be like, huh, it looks pretty cool. But then because he would always show up to me at night, because he's an hour behind me, so it always freaked me out, because I didn't want to wake up with it like breathing over my neck, and I want to do like more customs like that. But for the time being, I want to take a little break from YouTube. There's like a lot of drama. There's actually a lot of drama, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm still gonna like watch YouTube, but like during like this whole like pandemic, I've had like a couple of times where a mixture of like school and wanting to do like a custom. It's a lot of things have been stressing me out lately, and I feel like taking a break would be just like fun, like get my thoughts connected, like I definitely do want to update the way I the way I do reviews, because sometimes, like the Mayfix Spider-Man review, I had only gone off of the Fwoosh and Shartimus Prime's reviews on that. So all the points of articulation, like I already had known them, and you see most reviewers, they had like a day to 30 minutes to maybe even less or more than that of like playing with the action figure and getting everything down. But like during the Mayfix Spider-Man review, the only reason why I was making a lot of jokes and kind of like not just kind of winging it was because I didn't exactly know what I was doing. It was like one of my like first really good reviews.
Right.
And then, like the rest were just kind of, I don't want to say they like went down. I just want to say they were just kind of like, they kind of stuck between like being like, who really cares about this? And this is actually pretty cool.
I get that. The thing is about, with things going on right now, and, it's still crazy to think about, that right now we are in the middle of a pandemic. I never thought in my life we would be going through something like this, but honestly, I think with everything, with all this, it's kind of been a little bit of a benefit, because I get a little bit more freedom and a little bit more time to work on the stuff that I would like to make.
Yeah.
Like script writing and working on animation and all that stuff. So, but taking a break is definitely not a bad thing. I think if taking a break is necessary for you to recollect and for you to make better yourself and your content, then I say then more power to you, man. I say that's probably a good move to take.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, and like mainly I've been watching like throughout this whole entire thing. I've just been listening to like a lot of alternate music, and I've been like watching a lot of YouTubers. Like I like to watch this one YouTuber Flamingo, and then I also like watching Whoosh. But throughout this month or two that we've been inside, I've actually been kind of growing like a little bit bored on the stuff that I watch. So, like sometimes I'll just listen to music. Sometimes I'll listen to music while working on a custom. Sometimes I'll just talk to Oliver, who knows.
Right.
And it's been one of those times that you're just like, I want to do this, but I just can't go out and get it. And my local Walmart actually just started putting out the whole entire Avengers Endgame wave of the Smart Hulk. And
oh yeah.
The only two figures of that line that I really liked were just Beta Ray Bill and Union Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Union Jack was the body mold that I kind of wanted to use specifically for Spawn. And Beta Ray Bill was, he was like a gift given to me, and I was just kind of like, because, like, I'm not much of a, I like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, and Oliver sending me a issue of Marvel Zombies that I haven't read, because when I'm at my local comic book store, I can just read them, and the guy that works there, he's completely chill with it, and they never had this one issue, so Oliver's just kind of letting me use it.
I got you. Yeah, that's
so
great.
Oliver, if you're watching this, thank you.
Yeah, that's great that you have somebody to help you the broaden your knowledge of comic books. But that's cool. So are you new to like the comic scene, or have you been reading comics for a while? Or I'm just, this isn't actually one of the questions. This is just for my benefit. I'm just curious.
I've been reading comics for as long as, I think I started when I was around 5, but those were just like Spider-Man comics that I would get from like going to my local library and just being like, hey, do you have any Spider-Man books? And they would just be like, yeah, right over there. And I would be like, thank you. And like I took a long break because I didn't really know much about Deadpool besides the fact that he had his own movie, and it was when it comes to the comic books, like some things freak me out, and some things just and like I only have 2 favorite comic artists.
Okay, so what are your who are your favorite 2 comic book artists?
Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane.
Okay, yeah, those are on my top 5 list too. When it comes to, I like to draw too, and Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and Greg Capullo, they're one of my favorites. Also, Mark Bagley, who did the Ultimate Spider-Man, he's also one of my inspirations as well. But yeah, I guess going on to my, we got a couple more questions left. So going on to my next question is, just basically, I'm just asking because you're part of the community of collecting action figures and stuff like that.
Yep.
What mainly got you into wanting to be part of the community? Was there, like, I know you said there was people like Charmus Prime and the Foosh and Sean Lawn, but were those guys mainly the reason why you got into it, or did you find it through some other form medium, or so what made you want to be part of the action figure community?
God, what grade was I in? I think I was in around 4th or 5th grade when I was in Walmart, and me, my mom, and my mom's friend had seen the Superior Spider-Man, and I saw it, and I was just like, man, that's really cool, like, so, they took mental note, and basically maybe a week later, I had gotten that figure, and, for a while before that, I had collected these little, 5.5 inch scale,
Right. Okay.
um, and I took a long break after that because I started customizing around that time, and
Mm-hmm.
like they weren't so good of customs, And then I think what really got me back into them was seeing Sharnimus Prime review the Pizza Spider-Man, and I was just like, man, I really want that figure. So my mom had ordered a knockoff that lasted me about 2 weeks until the butterfly joint broke, but I glued it back and it didn't bother me any.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe a month later for my 13th birthday, I'm pretty sure it was my 13th, and I had $40 for Target, so I had bought the classic Deadpool and the X-Force one. The X-Force got chewed up by my dog, so that was kind of disappointing. I was able to salvage a couple of pieces, but the main parts that survived went to, like, the main body went to Oliver for, like, putting, like, heads to dry on, or to paint on. The classic pool, the Sunfire body mold. Why do I always say flower? Sorry. So I used that body mold for my custom wannabe.
Mm-hmm.
By far one of my favorite customs that I've done. And the head went to a original My Chemical Romance figure. That was back when they teased that they were getting back together. So I hopped on that bandwagon really quick.
Gotcha. All right. So, all right. And then I guess before I ask the next question is the thing is about what I like about this community is just a majority a majority of people in the community are pretty accepting, and people, and what's nice about it is that you can do pretty much anything. It's like this, it's a spectrum in a sense where you can do any type of format of video in terms of when it comes to, they can do stop motion, you can do reviews, you can show off customs, you can do vlog style stuff like figure hunting, like toy hunting, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the community is that they're pretty much just like, if it has to do with action figures, they're down for it. And that's what I think, that's what's cool about the community. And I think you wanting to do that and wanting to, show off your talent and also be able to say, hey, I want to get better, and, I want to be able to more people to notice what I'm capable of and what I'm able to bring to the community, but also have fun with it. I can admire that, and so I just want to give you props for that.
Thank you. There's actually something that's been really annoying pretty recently. My friend had to make his channel completely private because of this. He pretty recently bought the superposable Spider-Man from 2003, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, I have that figure, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his favorite figures, and that's what really got him back into collecting, because Maguire was his favorite Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He liked Garfield, he loves Holland, but he grew up with Maguire. He loves him.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a couple of reviews with this figure, they were decent reviews, a lot better than mine. I will give. But there's people always in the comments of his video do one for that, and he would with like almost every semi-rare figure that he had. And it was annoying him, but it annoyed me more because that's my friend.
Right.
He literally just got these figures, and it's no matter how many times the creator or like the friend of the creator will say, "Hey, don't say that," or "No, I'm not selling." Because some people that do watch your videos, it's nice to have somebody to look up to. It's not cool when you're begging somebody for an action figure that's pretty rare, and it actually made me really upset for the fact that, because he called me crying, saying how he was just like, these people, they keep getting on my nerve, asking me for my figures. I have to completely private my channel. It made me emotional because, he had close to 100 subscribers, and it was like one of his like milestones to at least get 50. And it was just really, really annoying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
a message that I do have for people that go to YouTubers' comment section and say, "Hey, can I buy that figure off of you?" Don't do that, because, if you're a kid, you're going to offer a low price for a rare figure.
right.
And a lot of us in the collecting community just, we're just trying to collect figures, and we're just trying to collect fun. And the same thing goes with hate comments. We're just trying to have fun. It's, in my opinion, kind of like people being like wearing fursuits. They're not hurting anybody on occasion, so let them be. We shouldn't ask them. But some people on this website are extremely entitled.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I remember I've gotten a lot of comments, especially from people asking, "Oh, can I buy this off you?" or from my collection, and or like that kind of stuff. And I know people like Sharma's Prime, or like Sean Long, probably, they get probably, people who have a bigger following and should have like way bigger collections, than me and you combined. They probably get so many comments about that. And I remember Sharma's made a whole video talking about it, or made a section, did a section in one video talking about it. Because I think he just got to the point where, for him, that it just became so bothersome and it became so frequent. Yeah. And so I'm sorry for your friend. I really do. I really do wish that, hopefully he'll unprivate his channel, and then he can be able to continue whatever he wants to do. I really do wish that the best for him. And again, I'm sorry that he had to go through that, because that really does suck. And I do understand, especially hate comments and stuff like that. That kind of stuff is not easy, especially when you're first starting. And I remember the first time when I started, I was very devastated and sad whenever I got my first like really mean hate comments. But as time goes on, you kind of truck. You gotta keep on trucking and just keep on going.
Rolling with there's this kid, and when I mean he's still in elementary school. He lives up my road, and he uses his email, and I'm not gonna joan on him for that. One thing that's annoying, or was annoying about him, is that for old deleted videos from my channel, when me and my mom thought that, or when my mom thought that she had the money, and my dad thought that he had the money, but I was going to try to go to VidCon, because I always kind of wanted to go to VidCon. Doesn't matter if you're a creator or if you're a visitor. And just all these comments just from him, just being like, "You're not gonna go there," and sometimes I'll joke with him in his comments, because you can't just throw paint at your neighbor's wall and not expect them to throw paint back. So I would kind of like tease him in the comments, and this one time he got annoyed because I said I could beat you in a round of Fortnite with downed internet, back when I used to play a lot of Fortnite. And he would joan on me, and like he acts black, but he's this might get a lot of people mad, but he's whiter than a saltine cracker, and he he likes to act tough, and like you can't call him out for it because his mom has to deal with it enough.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for her on occasion because he seems like a lot of he seems like a lot to handle.
Right.
But it got to the point to where like I was telling Oliver about this, and he was just like, "Yo, what's his channel name?" I gave it to him, and he did use my he didn't use my online persona. He used my actual name, except it was spelt wrong because he was mad. And he was he was tearing into this kid. Like, he wasn't trying to be mean, but also in a way he was.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it really confuses me why people could just be so mean towards another person.
Right.
Like, nowhere at all am I a nice person. I can be really mean when I want to, but like pretty recently I've just been like I've just been like kind of positive. Sometimes I'll go out, walk my dog, like take my mind off things. Chat with my girlfriend on Roblox or Hangouts, and that also gets my mind off things. And I haven't. I'm negative. I'll be the first to admit I'm pretty negative. I like to be upset and down in the dumps, but all of us are if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes a way just to get your mind clear, you need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I go outside, and like it's been proven if you go outside for a little over an hour, it helps with like some mental help. It doesn't cure it, but it at least makes you feel better enough to where you don't have these thoughts of, look, I'm going to kill myself and stuff like that. It doesn't give you that.
Yeah. The thing is like, another thing is, when it comes to people online and dealing with, a form of bullying or, some form of like hate, I do think, the best way to just deal with it is just to really ignore it, or if it gets like bad, then yeah, it's okay to address that kind of stuff. But for me, I just kind of learned to not really just stoop to their level or really call them names or anything, because that's just what the reaction they want. So that's the kind of thing I've learned. And I guess another thing is that when dealing with those kind of people, they just really want, like I mentioned, they really just want a reaction out of you, or they really do dislike you. But at the end of the day, it's like you probably will never meet this person, and even somehow you do, it's not. I don't think they're gonna try and like do anything. It's not. I don't think so, as far as I know. But dealing with that kind of stuff, it's just like you just kind of have to learn how to roll with the punches and just keep moving forward. And it's hard, especially when you first start.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess going on with my my last question is, what would you like to say to your fans and to say to people, to your subscribers, whether that's advice, whether that's you just want to say thank you. So if you want to say anything, now is your time.
I'd like to say thank you to, first of all, Oliver Flicks for mainly getting me into, like making me like watch a lot more of like your channel, all that stuff. And like I don't feel like I would be at, even though my count is very low, I think close to more to 50, maybe times will change, you don't know, but I don't think I would be there, because when I started working with Oliver, I was at 23. Like then I look back and I'm already at 30, and like it kind of went up, and it was just like a thing, because with my old account, it was Bart Simpson FNAF stuff, and very low sub count, maybe 3, 5. So being at like such a high number like 50 is amazing. And I'd like to say to my fans who adore me, I just want to say thank you. I don't think I'd be who I am without you guys. I'd like to say thank you to my girlfriend for getting me out of a lot of hard times. And also, if you guys are dealing with something like with bullying and you don't feel like you can take it, and you're starting to have all these like thoughts of like maybe I should just end it all and like everybody will be like happy without me. Don't do that. Reach out to somebody, or heck, call the 1-800 number, and like it's like one of those things that should not be brushed upon. It should be one of those things that you take immediate action to, and I feel like losing somebody that means a lot to me, or like you would lose like me as a creator, and you would never see another thing that I would do again.
Mm-hmm.
And it would make you really upset. And all I'm going to say is get help. Like I'm here giving you a spiritual hug.
Yeah. I say the same thing as well, to people that, that feel the same way. And I feel like, I am always open, if anybody follows me on Instagram, whether you need help with videos or you just want to talk, about anything, my DMs are open. So, I think that was really well said, and I agree with your statement. And so I think that's a great place to end that, especially to just end on a very wholesome and genuine note. So thanks for that. So I want to thank everybody for listening and watching the video. Please check out James Flicks. His account, his YouTube page, and his other pages will be in the link in the description. And also those things I mentioned, like the paints, the spray, everything, that kind of stuff. If you want to learn how to figure out stuff for customs, that will be in the description as well. If you want to check out more of my interviews, that will also be on my channel, and also a playlist will be in the description as well. If you want to subscribe and see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to me. And if you want to check out James's customs and his vlogs and his other videos, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. I think you'll get a nice treat from him. Thanks, James, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And to all you guys that don't subscribe and hit the bell, just remember the god of monster himself, James, will come after you.
You heard it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, James will come after you. So you better hit that button, man.